I'm Rosie Bell with IMN, and we're joined by Jeff Klein, Executive Director and Principal at SVN SFRhub Marketplace. Jeff, welcome. Great to see you as
Good
always.
morning, Rosie. It's great to be back.
Good to see you. All right, Jeff, what can you tell us has changed since IMN SFR West December of 2023, if we're now May 2024?
Oh my gosh, I'll keep this short. Many things have happened over the course of the last really 6 months since we were all in Phoenix last. It's interesting. Last year we had home mortgage rates at about 8%. Last week that's been reduced down to 7.02%. So it's been kind of trickling up a little bit, trickling back down. So there was a decrease last week, which was pretty exciting, which is May 2024. Secondly, the Fed and SFR rates have really remained about the same, which is important to the SFR investment industry because that's how debt is charged essentially. Debt typically is comprised of anywhere from 50 to maybe 70 or 75% of the acquisition cost. So those interest rates are really important to our industry for sure from an acquisition standpoint. And then, as we all see on the news day in and day out, climate change has really been a major factor and impact not only the last 6 months, but really the last 2 years in our industry. And that insurance premiums have skyrocketed as a result of substantially increased claims really across the nation for all different reasons, between fires, hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, I mean, you name it. And we've unfortunately had some pretty major occurrences over the course of the last few years. So that's something that's really been focused on over the last 6 months since we were at the Phoenix conference. Big impact.
Okay, I mean, you've kind of touched on it there, but thinking of impacts for 2024, how has the massive market, governmental, economic shifts, changes, challenges all around that impacted the SFR industry?
You know, great question, and it's been really exciting, and that's why I'm proud to be part of the SFR rental industry, because again, like in the past during economic downturns, the economic crash, most recently COVID-19, it's really been the SFR rental industry that's really stepped up to the plate and been the solution to the problem. Year over year, just as an example, the cost of a monthly mortgage or cost of a home monthly payment has increased by about 9%, which during the same period, rent has increased 4%. So the rent increases are much less than the cost of owning or having a home mortgage in today's marketplace. So again, SFR rental homes continue to be an affordable, quality, and safe solution for the residents and families.
Okay, well, thinking about BFR as well then, what are the primary sources contributing to the supply of SFR scattered assets and BFR properties expected in the market tomorrow?
You know, that's a great question that the industry has been asking at the conference this week, actually, because inventory has really been scarce on scattered asset for investment rental homes because there's less people selling their home because they still have the 2 and 3% mortgage rate, right? So typically they aren't selling because if they buy a new house, their new mortgage rate, as I mentioned at the top of the discussion, would be on average 7.02%. So their mortgage payment is going to double. So that our current homeowner doesn't have much incentive to sell their home. And of course, that's been the major source of inventory for the rental investment to buy that home from the homeowner and then rent it and become a rental home essentially. So that has substantially reduced. So your question, where's the inventory coming from, is the number one question in the conference this week. And it's coming from many different areas. The one thing that we've seen in our SVN SFRhub Marketplace brokerage on a nationwide basis is we see more portfolios, rental home investment portfolios, coming from the smaller investors that own 5, 25, 100 homes. Since the first of this year, that's really accelerated and become a big, probably the majority portion of the opportunities on the listing side. Those are all, even though they're smaller portfolios, they're all great opportunities for mid-scale buyers, smaller buyers, and even the institutional buyers. Now we'll certainly acquire those smaller packages. So number one kind of new source is the mom and pop, so to speak, investors with just a few homes that are coming to market at a much greater robust scale than they have ever before. Then secondly, on the built for rent subsegment, it's been exciting as built for rent occupancies or new construction acquisitions have declined over the course of the last couple of years for two reasons. Number one, Cost of capital has doubled or tripled for the buyers, for the institutional buyers of these subdivisions, built-for-rent communities. And then number two, at the same time, production has been down because obviously retail home sales have decreased substantially. So home builders have just automatically dialed down their production on a quarterly and annually basis. But the good news, it's been super exciting during that same 1 or 2 period of time. The percentage of new construction homes has substantially increased with the home building industry. So we're anticipating that to be a tremendous new opportunity as far as product for acquisition over the course of the next few years. In fact, by 2027, it's anticipated that there'll be about 160,000 built-for-rent homes occupied, and that'll be by far the record at that point. And it's anticipated to continue to grow after that.
Wow, Jeff. Okay, well, how then have the recent increases in mortgage interest rates, property taxes, insurance costs affected the affordability of home ownership for consumers over the last 6 months? But also, how's this trend going to compare to the ongoing affordability of the home rental industry for individuals and families nationwide?
Sure. And as I mentioned at the top of the discussion, I'm really proud of our industry because we've really been the solution to that challenge for individuals and families across the country. Today, on average, nationwide, and this does vary by submarket and MSA or city, but on average, it's about $1,100 per month less to rent the same home, same floor plan, same builder, same street in USA than it is to actually own that home. So it's the same quality home in the same safe neighborhood, but it's about $1,100 less per month for that family to occupy that home, which is super exciting. And again, a great example of our awesome industry, that we continue to be the solution to both housing shortages as well as affordability.
Definitely. I mean, Jeff, we're at IMN SFR East Conference, so obviously you opened the conference and participated on panels, but what's something you've learned from either speaking to people here or from another panel discussion, a really key thing that stuck out to you?
Great question. It's one word: optimism. In the industry. By far, everyone that I've spoken to here this week is very optimistic as to the future, both during the course of this year as well as going forward for the next couple of years. Certainly